The real joy when it comes to Overkill's The Walking Dead is that it's made it out at all. Originally slated for 2016 before getting stuck in development hell for one reason or another, here we sit in November 2018 and finally you can throw yourself into it should you so wish. If you need a bit of convincing or to realise it's an utter farce, that's why you've clicked the video. It's lovely to have you here. My name is Simon Miller, and this is VG247. So, to begin, what the hell is the latest spin-off from the popular zombie franchise? In short, it's a 4-player FPS co-op survival experience where you and 3 friends, or computer-controlled characters, have to try and make your way through an undead apocalypse and try not to die. It's a setup you will have encountered many times before, the real twist here being that it is brought to you by the same team that made the Payday series. If you'd like to see that but with zombies, that's not the worst comparison in the world. The real goal here is just to stay alive too, and you can do that in multiple ways. The first, naturally, is to shoot things in the face. The combat is solid enough, even though personally I'd preferred it if guns packed a bigger punch. They always feel like toy weapons, but you can protect yourself further by building fortifications and trying to protect whatever environment you find yourself in. None of these elements are ever too complicated, which goes for the crafting mechanic too, and there are plenty of other tidbits to watch out for. You can't make too much noise on some levels, for example, unless you want to be owned by a group of corpses, and from time to time your main objective will be to simply outlast the ever popular horde mode. Fail to keep the threat away, or let your aforementioned defenses be breached, and you're gonna get your ass kicked. It does all flow together fine, with the real impetus coming in how you expect to play this. If you have 3 friends you know will be interested, then you should probably increase your excitement by 3 points. While The Walking Dead won't win any Game of the Year awards, it does what it sets out to do well enough, and the slight shifts when it comes to different levels mean it's always interesting. There will also be occasions when one of you makes too much noise, and as we all know, doing that attracts more zombies, but also triggers everybody yelling at each other. Why that's fun I don't know, but calling your mate a fucking prick just is. Most of my time was actually playing with strangers, however, and while from time to time that will piss you off as no one pays attention to the mission, it's still entertaining. There's somewhat of a grind to proceedings as you also need to earn loot and level up, plus to progress you have to upgrade your camp. It's never harder than finding a few objects and then entering a menu, but again, Overkill's main focus is just to try and offer up another co-op experience, only this time they have a license to back it up. With that said, it can be oddly confusing at times when it doesn't exactly explain what it is you're meant to do. There'll be a lot of clicking around the menu searching for options only to discover systems you didn't even know existed. There is a tutorial in place, but it's not overly helpful, and also, it's just a video. I realise the hypocritical nature of saying that on a video, but it doesn't really give the information you need. There's also not that much here if you're coming to the party for the story. While the TV show has delighted audience for years, Overkill has kept it all very straightforward and told a simple tale that you've probably heard before. There are 4 different characters that fall into the tank, support, tactics and scout roles, and they also tie into the comic books, but I would guess only real super fans are going to get a kick out of that. They're well realised enough for the game, but I wouldn't say they have that much more impact. You also have to consider that this is very much a team-focused game. You can run out on your lonesome if you want, but you will absolutely be punished, especially because The Walking Dead scales depending on who's involved. Play with bots and you'll have an easier ride, but rightfully so, it expects more of you if you're an actual person, so working together is beyond crucial. You do run the risk of having a worse time than you should then, depending on who joins your party, but I guess you could say that about anything that embraces co-op. Relying on the human race is always a slight risk. In terms of getting online too, I didn't have one issue, but that doesn't mean the servers are perfect. I did see some reports complaining of being kicked out of lobbies, but I was either lucky or just escaped the madness. Do note this is being treated as seasonal too, meaning more content is on the way, although there's still 10 episodes here, and if you get a kick out of hunting down zombies with your friends, you'll probably enjoy it. Don't see how you can't. It never tries to do anything outside of the obvious, and that's to its credit. Playing it safe often means an audience will warm to familiar surroundings. If you want to break it down further, it's a bit like Left 4 Dead, although not as good simply because The Walking Dead never really settles on what it wants to be. If you've been waiting for it, however, and want to take the punt, you won't regret it, unless you think this is a game about birds that try and bang each other. And don't pretend it doesn't exist, because it absolutely does. So if you have got to the end of this video review and you still don't know what I think of it or what you should think of it, I thought it was a pretty decent zombie game that I felt like I'd played before, but that was alright, because this one was brand new, and it had different elements to boot. That, in my world, is more than okay. Now don't forget to leave a comment below, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to VG247, and I'll talk to you again when I talk to you again.